We're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually very, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor and a bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the bodies mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on the deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 219 of Fired Up Sports. Check us out at firedupsports.com. Hope everybody had a good holiday, good Christmas, all that stuff out of the way as we kind of wrap up our 2025 here, doing our last show of 2025. I'm Mike DeLoto. Joining me as always, Mark Ramos. What's going on, Mark?
Not much, man. Yeah, last show of the year. It's been a crazy year.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean we'll see what 2026 has to hold for Philly sports and for us, firedupsports.com. So Fired Up Sports Pod too.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll look to kind of make this thing even bigger. New ideas, and anytime this year, and obviously it's like the whole cliche of like a New Year's resolution, but like it seems like it always like is a motivating factor. Like, all right, next year will be the year we figure something else out, or we add something, or we'll figure something out for sure.
It's the Philly sports fan credo is always there's always next year.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So it's fitting that would be that way for us on here.
yeah, exactly. I did want to bring this up because this has kind of consumed my life over the past couple of weeks. It's all I've seen on social media. Are you and your wife into the Stranger Things lore? Do you guys watch it? Are you guys invested or no?
She's a big fan. I get filled in on a lot of it. I'm
Okay.
way behind on
Clearly,
Stranger Things.
you got to catch up.
Yeah, everybody tells me, they're like, you gotta watch it. And
You have about 23 hours to catch up, so
yeah,
get to it. Yeah.
yeah. I'm way behind. She would be a lot better. I'm assuming you are, right? Like you're
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me
Yeah.
and my wife are really into it.
Yeah.
Been watching since the first season, so I'm sure you've heard everywhere. Finale tomorrow night,
Yep.
so we'll watch that.
Yeah.
Those are my plans for New Year's Eve. Nothing
Yes.
else. Just that.
See, we usually have some family come over for New Year's Eve, so I heard like it's starting. I think it comes on 8:30 or something like
I think it's
that.
it's 8 o'clock, but it's like a 2 hour and 10 minute runtime or something like that.
Yeah. So my wife was very, very upset because she was like, "I'm gonna have to like media blackout myself till I watch
Yeah.
this thing."
Oh, sure.
Because we're gonna have people over and we'll be watching the specials, the New Year's Eve special stuff and all. But
Yep.
but yeah, I'm way behind, and I need to catch up and watch. I need to start watching it, and
I'm usually
I'll
not
come
like
on
a-
here and I'll review it with you.
Yeah, I'm usually not like a sci-fi fan, but like
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good show. Season 5 is getting kind of torched online, but like I think some of that criticism is unfair. So
Yeah.
you'll have to watch it. It'll take a while because the episodes are like an hour long each, sometimes longer, hour and a half long. So it'll take you a while.
Yeah.
But when you do it, report back.
Okay. I will. Yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely have to do that because too many people. I mean, it's not crazy for me to be like living under a rock. I watch mostly sports.
Yeah.
With stuff and then like anything pop culture related I get from my wife. She keeps me up to date on all that stuff. So and some of it sticks, some of it doesn't for me, but like I definitely get most of it from her. But there's not one person I've talked to, friend, whoever. Everybody's like, "You're not watching Stranger Things."
Yeah, it's big. It's
And I got to
gigantic.
turn
Really.
around. Yeah, I sound like a loser.
You got to figure this out. And sometimes it's better to like start a show like that. Like there's two sides of it. It's like, oh, I'm too late, I can't really get into it. But it's also like you don't have to wait for the next season. You can just kind
Yeah.
of jump in and just watch it all at once, just kind of binge it.
Yeah, that's
And
kind of how I like to do it too.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, speaking of strange things, we will have to talk about the Eagles' offense. The Eagles as a whole. What a segue by me. But so obviously we took last week off. Christmas is a very busy time, especially for me with work and all that stuff. So, I was dead tired last Tuesday when we did our show, or when we were supposed to do our show. So we took that week off.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get the chance to talk about the Commanders game. They took care of business, nothing too crazy there. And then they go into a week against Buffalo, where, listen, I'll be honest, I don't know where your mind was. I kind of thought Buffalo would hand them a pretty big loss. Like I thought Buffalo, I thought Josh Allen was going to play really, a lot better than he did. Yeah, I mean the offense. I mean, we can talk about the offense. It's kind of the transition I made, but like decent-ish, I guess, in the first half, if you want to say, and then the second half with an absolute pathetic performance on the offense. Pathetic. Had chances to maybe pull away and be a little more aggressive and to put your foot on the gas, and they just let the Bills just come back in that game. And if not for an uncharacteristic mistake by Josh Allen, with the pass at the end of the game, they should have lost that game. I mean, the receiver was wide open. Open.
Yeah, for sure. This is normally, I think, like looking back on it, we would probably turn around and be like, well, they were dealing with the weather and all that other stuff, and but this has happened so many times this year where like this offense just completely stalls out. And
to be fair, the weather was miserable.
it was, and it totally played a factor in that.
Yeah.
Certainly, I think in the way that Allen looked, in turn, like he's, on a clearer day, he's probably a little bit sharper. But yeah, I mean, we've seen this way too many times this year, and that's happened a lot in. Another thing that's happened a lot this year with the Eagles is like, they may jump out to a lead, and it feels like they're just kind of clinging to it the whole time. Where it was just like it inevitably felt like, at least to me, even with the weather, I was like, like Buffalo's going to get one. They're at least going to get one, and it got very, very close at the end, right? Like as you said, it came down to that last throw, but I mean.
Are you surprised Buffalo went for 2 there for the win?
I was, and Badgley missed, or it got blocked earlier, right? He had missed the. So, I'm even more surprised, by that decision by McDermott, because it wasn't like it wasn't like he went out there and like just completely just put it in the, you know what I mean? He didn't just shank it. It was actually like there was a play made.
Yeah. Right, and the weird part about it is like it's not like it was like a high scoring kind of shootout game where, hey, if we give the ball to the Eagles in overtime, they're going to beat us. You held the Eagles to virtually nothing in the second half. Like you were in complete control of the game. Kick the field goal, tie the game, stop the Eagles, and on the first drive, and then you have a chance to win the game. But that's why I was surprised. Is like just feel of the game. The Eagles had nothing in the second half. Nothing.
Yeah. And I was actually reading about this yesterday, and Reuben Frank had a piece out on NBC Sports Philadelphia that had if you look at like the large chunks over games where like this team has it like offensively, the defense is a totally different thing. This team is where they are because of their defense. This is a beacon for this team. I have no qualms with them. They've played incredibly well this year. They played well in Buffalo as well. But Frank had pointed out in his story, like, I mean, he goes literally through the games point by point. Where, the first Cowboys game, 21 points in the first half, 3 in the second. The Rams game, 7 points in the first half, 26 in the second. Buccaneers, 24 points in the first half, 7 in the second. And so on and so forth. And there's more and more games here on his list of like where offensively they haven't played a complete game practically all year. like,
Yep.
and like it's remarkable to be where they are, but they are playing with fire, playing like this. And when the games get extra tight in the postseason, and mistakes get minimized, leaning on this defense as often as they do. Not that it can't be the strength of the team right now and the backbone of the team. That's fine. You want to be built around your defense? That's cool. That's a perfectly acceptable way to win football games. However, you are you can't have them out there as often as they're out there.
No, definitely not. Definitely,
Yeah,
and you're not going to score on every drive. That's obvious.
Right.
But the amount of times it's just a 3 and out, and they just have to just kick the ball and give it the defense is out there way too much. As good as they are, and I tweeted this out. I don't know if you saw it, but that's the most frustrating thing, and what pisses me off the most about this current Eagles team is that I legitimately think they have a top 2 or 3 defense in the league. They have a Super Bowl contending defense, Super Bowl winning defense.
Yeah.
But then you have an offense with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith that's going to hold you back. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really bizarre situation in the sense that you look at the way the defense is kind of assembled, and it's a little bit of everything, right? Like it's built around some really promising young players, right? Like with Cooper DeJean and Mitchell and Davis and all these other guys, and then there's some low key really good depth veteran signings, guys like Bond and the Jalen Phillips trade turned out to be a positive one.
Home run. Yep.
Yeah. So it's the defense is so it's been, you take a little bit of each way to improve your team, and then it puts together this unit, as you said, one of the best in the NFL for my money as well. And then on the other side of the football, right, it's kind of just star-studded, right? You got Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and Saquon, Jalen, all these guys you talked about.
Dallas Goedert,
Dallas Goedert had, he got 11 touchdowns this year or whatever it is, and
I mean, listen, people want to shit on Dallas Goedert. He's still probably a top 2 or 3 tight end in the league.
Yeah. And Jalen looks to him a lot in the red zone, when they're down there and they're not, running the push and stuff like that. He's usually one of the prime options for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when you have those when you have name appeal like that, right? It can't look this bad for this long in games. That was in that Reuben Frank story, he went on to name all the other games, but it was 10 of 16 games where they've played a really bad, offensively anemic half of football.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 11-5, and that has a lot to do with their defense.
Yep.
But it's really hard, as we said, and as we've pointed out here, it's really hard to do that in the postseason. Things are going to get real tight in the postseason, and there's going to have to be drives where you're going to have to eke out something. Whether you're going to take the 3 points or whatever the case is, you're going to have to they can't just stall out like this. But it's been a theme this year. It's happened over and over and over again. And I really don't know the answer to that, to how to rectify that.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it's terrible. I'm trying to look right now. The Bills, because you were talking about how impressive the defense has been and all that. The Bills average 28 points per game. That would put them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th best offense in the league. That defense just held them to 12 points. Now again, weather could have played a factor in that, obviously, But which is weird because like you think Josh Allen would be used to it now by now, playing in Buffalo all these years, and then before that he was in
Yeah.
college at like Wyoming, was it? Like it's
Yeah.
pretty cold up there. Last I checked, like I'm surprised he's not used to it by now.
Yeah, you would think
Yeah,
so.
but like the defense has been great, and like one thing I feel like we kind of talked about early on in the season is they really didn't have that great of a pass rush in halfway through the season or whatever. They get Phillips, and that obviously helped, and like Jalen Carter's been great too. Like the last couple games, he's been awesome.
Yeah, he has been.
Took him a while to get going, but he's I think he's found his stride.
Yeah, he's been good. And when he's not as involved in like, I feel like some guys really revel in it, right? Like the they really kind of revel in the trash talk and getting in, but I think Carter, even though he's somebody who's in the past been involved in things like that, when he's focused, I mean, he's a force. And I mean, we knew he would be, but he has really played well lately.
At least he's not punching opposing fans in the face. We have that going.
Oh yeah, you see that? Jeez.
Yeah.
Good
Talking
God.
about DK Metcalf and that whole scenario.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
yeah. So speaking of which, I mean, speaking of like guys punching each other.
Okay. Where's this going?
Well, you mentioned the Commanders game before, and they had that scuffle at the end of the last game. And Dan Quinn, after that game, had kind of like, he had talked like, oh, if they want to, I understand like you're trying to like drum up something for your team and you're not playing for anything. But I think it's a really bad thing to do, to come here, especially after the way that game ended with the big stuff.
But is that what he was referring to when he said that?
Quinn?
I thought, the way I took it, I thought he was referring to, because late in the game, the Eagles are up pretty big. If you remember, they went for the 2-point conversion instead of kicking the extra point.
Right.
I think I that's the way I interpret it. But what he fails to remember, if that's what he was talking about, is Jake Elliott was dreadful in that game. Awful.
Right. Yeah.
So I didn't want him kicking an extra point either.
Yeah. I think it was the whole thing. I think it was the fact that they got like beat, and also like it was that, and he's trying to like push his guys till the end of the year to like play for something. And then of course that, things got like out of hand at the end, and Tyler Steen just manhandling people like out there. But I mean, like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? And it's, I guess it's kind of cooled off because it's really not something like the Eagles are just trying to get through this week, I think, and not get hurt and get ready for the postseason and whoever they're going to run into first. But I mean, like I saw that, and I thought, like, what is it? Like, what is this guy talking about? Because he likes to give off that impression, He was like that in Atlanta too, with the Falcons. But I was like, man, you guys won like 3 or 4 games this year. Like calm down.
Yeah. When people thought they'd win the division before the season started.
Yeah. And it turned out, like, I guess, being an older team, and then, like, there's definitely a correlation with being one of the oldest teams out there and having all these injuries, just getting destroyed by injuries. You know what I mean? And
maybe Jane Daniels isn't the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, like people wanted to say he was last year. Now, granted, though, a lot of injury himself this year, but like, still, like, that comparison seemed crazy to me after last season.
Yeah, and that's actually Caleb Williams, to be honest. But
Patrick Mahomes, you're putting that label on Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah, especially Sunday.
Okay, I mean,
Sunday.
Is it bad that I still need to see? He was. Listen, I don't know if you remember like the days of the show before we were in every week. And every week goes, but like I'm not a Caleb Williams guy. I don't know if you remember this, but
no, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't really. I thought I thought the talent was always going to be there, but like I just thought the way he carried himself, I didn't like. I didn't really love his personality. He seemed too kind of is full of himself. For lack of a better word, full of himself.
Uh-huh.
He just didn't seem like he was a leader.
Yeah.
Didn't seem mentally tough. Like that's the thing. But so far, like this season, he might have proved me wrong. But again, it's one season. We'll see what happens, down the line.
Yeah.
But he did ball out last week. I'll give you that.
Yeah. No, I mean, they've been a lot of fun this year. The Bears have been a lot of fun, and they're young. And I think, like, I said that going into that game the Eagles had with them on Black Friday, that even though it had felt like, I mean, they came to Philadelphia and beat the Eagles. They had
Mhm.
that game with the Niners, very very close. Did they win? Did they lost that game? It was
Which the Niners game? Yeah,
yeah, something.
they
Yeah, they
lost.
lost that game. But I mean, like, it was definitely
Hell of a game though. Hell of a game.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was a heavyweight slugfest, especially offensively. I'm sure if you're a defensive coordinator, you hate that.
Yeah.
But it was. So they've kind of shown, even though they're a young team and all like that, they can kind of hang. You know, maybe
Mhm.
they're not ready for prime time yet, but they can definitely hang. And I think they're going to get better. Like Caleb's going to get more comfortable in his role. I'm a big Roma Dunze fan. I think he's a talented guy, and he didn't even have him in that game, which was
Yeah, they're
another
banged up right now too. Yeah.
yeah. So it was even more impressive in that way. Like he kind of was able to you know um, carry it a little bit, but yeah, like I think they're definitely like a good young team, and they're gonna be fun to watch. I think the next couple of years. So we'll see if they get a lot of that same love that Washington got after kind of coming out of nowhere, really.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um I was gonna say something. I completely just drew a blank.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. No, no, now I know where I'm going. So you did mention something a little while ago that I did kind of want to talk about. Everybody's talking about it. I feel like is this upcoming week against Washington. Um, do you or will they? I guess they haven't even really said right now. Is it more about rest or is it more about play our guys and try to win this game because we got to try to get the 2 seed?
Yeah, I guess that's what. Yeah, I don't know. Like I guess they're they're going to be at home, right, for the wild card, no matter what. Is that
Correct. Yes.
yeah?
Mhm.
So I think just rest. I would rest guys. Um,
I usually would be on that way of thinking until you realize that if they stay at the 3 seed, then in the first round they're playing either the Niners or the Rams.
okay,
And if they get the 2 seed, then they would be playing, I believe, the Packers.
right,
I'd rather play the Packers in the first round. That's just my
definitely.
opinion.
Yeah,
But in order to get the 2 seed, they got to win, and the Bears have to lose to the Lions. So
yeah,
the Lions' season's done; they have nothing to play for. So who knows, kind of what game you get there.
right. Um, yeah, we talked about I think a couple weeks ago too the whole rest versus
Mhm.
you know kind of dressing guys and having them go out there use it as a dress rehearsal, so to speak. But um, yeah, like I don't know, you know,
With that being said, they could easily beat the Commanders with their starters not playing.
yeah,
That could also happen.
yeah. I would love to see a Tanner McKee game
Yeah,
this year.
right. Yeah, exactly. True. Yeah,
Watch him go out there and throw for 300 yards or something
it
like
will
that.
be all one. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like 2 weeks ago I had said about using it like if things didn't look as bad as they did offensively, I would I would be like 100% on board. Just sit guys. It's not a big deal. But I wanted to see players play to try to kind of get this thing looking a little bit better.
Mhm.
Um, I think now a week out, this being the last game of the season, the regular season, um, I would lean more just like sitting guys because I mean you kind of for all the reasons we've mentioned already, right? Like this is the group, right?
Mhm.
So, is it really going to make a difference? Are those reps in a game really going to make a difference for you? When I'm sure you're kind of already have an idea in your head of like the scenarios that are at play, and you really just have to prepare for who you're going to play for because this is the same group this is more or less the same group, like at least
Mhm.
like offensively and all. This is the same group that won the title last year,
Yep.
so you need them to kind of just like come together whether they play or not in the final week. That like they're going to have to come together and figure out a way to navigate this. And you know I don't know if they're going to be able to. I mean, we for all the reasons we've mentioned, right? Like they've been there's been power outages for long stretches, and
It's
that's not going to fly.
it's definitely a concern. Yeah, I mean, it has. We've made the comparison all season, but like to the 23 season where you had Brian Johnson as a coordinator, and the offense was stale for the entire season. They back into a playoff spot, and then they scored 9 points in a first round playoff game against the Buccaneers. So I
Mm-hmm.
hope it doesn't come out of that. I hope they don't, score 9, 12, 14 points in a playoff game. Because they're not winning any games like that, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. Yeah, you beat the Bills 13-12, but I don't think you're winning games like that in the playoffs. I
Right.
think the teams are too good.
Yeah, I mean, you could take if you want it, you could take your chances with Josh missing that throw at the end of
Yeah,
the game. How many
yeah,
times is that going to happen?
right, exactly. Yes,
Um,
not often.
although listen, McDermott, I don't think he's beaten the Eagles since he's been a head coach. I think was said. Um, I heard that on the radio actually
Hmm.
from
I did hear that. Yes.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's kind of where they're at. So I don't know. I think I would opt for rest and just let the chips fall where they may. I mean, if it's got to be the Rams or San Fran, so be it. You know,
Yeah,
I
I mean that's the thing about playoffs is you're gonna have to beat these teams regardless. You're gonna have to
yeah,
play them at some point anyway if you want to go all the way. So
right, right,
yeah, and you could argue, hey, I'd rather do it in. I don't know that I would argue this, but you could say, hey, I'd rather do it in round one when I do have the rest and I can get healthy, instead of round 2 or 3 when I'm beat up. So
right. Yeah, yeah, and it's all about like those stretches, right? Like, I mean, um, the Niners look like they're starting to get healthier. Purdy played a good game on
yeah,
Sunday,
he was great. Yep.
so it really in a vacuum, right? You're probably thinking of it like, oh, we're not really worried about like a player like Brock Purdy, but when he's had games like that in recent weeks, it only takes one, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I think like that's kind of something that they're gonna have to. Yeah, you just gotta like you said, you're gonna have to go through these teams at some point, and your path there it does matter, but um, you know, I you just got to kind of let it play out. I mean, you got to think about long term, and you want to make sure that you have all of your weapons available to you
Hmm.
for that battle, right? So, and yeah, so I they should be saying that soon about whether who's going to be playing or what.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they'll do in terms of like announcing anything. Because I mean, these NFL coaches, Sirianni included, always likes to play those mind games. Never wants to, show his cards.
Right, right, yeah. So yeah, maybe they don't, maybe they won't. But yeah, I want to see Tanner McKee play, so I'm
That'd be
good.
fun. That'd be
Yeah,
fun. I'm on board. I'm on board with that. And maybe you get Bigsby a little action too.
yeah,
We haven't. I don't think we've seen him enough, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah. He's been Bixby's been good when he's gotten the chance. I mean, like
Yep.
so, and it's funny because like I think back to when they brought him in here, and it was like they needed help on special teams and like with returns and stuff. And apparently he was good at that. Remember, he comes in, bobbled a couple balls right
Yep.
away, and but he's kind of like he's been good in kind of like a change of pace role when they've used him for that. So I wasn't really sure about how they were going to use him or whatever, but especially because the purpose of him allegedly being here was to return kicks and stuff, and
Right.
but good for him, good on him for kind of carving out a role. I'd like to see that too, and maybe that helps Saquon,
Yeah.
who's been kind of he's kind of been cool this year, comparatively speaking. So maybe you need to just kind of use both of them in packages and stuff. And
I'd like to see it. I definitely would like to see it.
yeah,
So-
I'm definitely open to that too.
Yep. All right, you want to do our picks for the week? You
Yeah.
have yours? Okay. So obviously we've slacked the last couple of weeks, so we didn't do
Yeah.
week 15 and 17. I think. We
I
missed
think
those
so.
two.
Yeah.
So that brings. I have a tally of our totals. Oh, by the way, before I give our tally, our totals there, I have our predictions from this. Our Eagles predictions from the preseason.
I was going to ask you about that.
I do have them here. We both said they were going 12-5.
Oh man.
So we got a big win here on the line.
Yeah.
Dom said 14. Dom said 14-3, so he's cooked. the under hit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But me and you are still alive there.
Wow. Right on the money. We need this one.
Could be.
Come on, McKee.
Yeah, you had them losing to Kansas City, Detroit, Washington, and Buffalo.
Hmm.
Trying to remember what games they lost.
Did they lose any of those? I don't know. They
I
did.
don't think they lost. I don't think they lost any. No, because they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They lost the Giants. One of those losses was that they did lose.
Yeah.
Although I think you had the wrong week. But either way, they lost to the Giants.
Right.
They then losing to the Lions. That was they won that game
Yeah.
barely. And then Washington and Buffalo they both beat. So there you go.
Yeah.
I had them losing to the Rams, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Bills.
Hmm.
So I think I might have got one, maybe two of those right.
Yeah.
But
Did you? Yeah. The Cowboys.
the Cowboys lost.
Cowboys
week 12.
lost.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about
Why you
that?
got to listen to the show, man?
That's exactly why.
Can't get this anywhere else.
Yes. So then our total so far for the season, I am 44-31. You are 41-34. So 3 games behind me.
Okay.
Yep. It is kind of wild that we're both over 500 pretty well because usually when me and Dom did this, we were so far under 500 it wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that brings us to week 18. What do you have?
All
What do you
right.
like?
So, I have the Ravens this week at -3.5 over the Steelers. Division on the line there. After Pittsburgh blew that game in Cleveland
Mm-hmm.
this past week. I have the Panthers over the Bucks at +3. Another divisional matchup there, and I feel like I've been talking the Panthers up too. I feel like I've been good to the Panthers on this show, so I'm gonna keep pounding. I'm sticking with the.
Fair enough.
And
They've played a lot. I think they played above their expectations so far. They've been not horrible.
No.
The division still stinks, but they're
Yeah.
the top of the division. But yeah, they're playing well. I expected them to have 4 wins this year. So
yeah, no, I like a lot of their players, and their defense played well this year. So I'm sticking with them, and then got the Eagles at -7 over the Commanders, and then
with Tanner McKee, you think they're covering the 7, huh?
oh yeah, he's balling in this game.
Love that.
Couple touchdowns.
Love that.
You know what? I'll take the over on the 250 yards too. I bet he throws over 250 yards.
Okay, 250, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think he's playing, to be honest.
yeah.
But we'll
That's
see. You know,
gonna
we'll
suck
see.
if he doesn't. But
Yeah, right. Then you got to count on Jalen Hurts to get you the -7.
yeah, -7 and over the 250. The
Yeah,
250
over
yards.
the 250. Yeah, that's not That's not happening right there. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Has he thrown there? Has he thrown for over two? What's the highest he's thrown for this season? Would you?
All right.
Hold on, let me see if I can look this up. Because I am kind of curious now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he's not exactly the guy that throws a lot of yards. All right, so he threw over 250. Okay, well, 4 times. His most he's thrown for was against the Vikings, 326.
Hmm.
He had a
Okay.
3-week stretch. He played Denver for 280, the Giants 283, the Vikings 326, and then took a few weeks off in the 100 range, and then 289 and 230 back-to-back weekends against the Cowboys and Bears.
Okay.
So what I say, 1 to 4 times he's thrown over 250.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Sure.
Yeah. So I got the Eagles -7. Then for the over-unders, I have the Miami New England game under 45.5, and then KC
Under 45 and a half. Sorry.
yes. Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure I heard you right. All right.
No, you're good. And then I have KC and the Raiders at over 36.5.
That's low, but like that quarterback matchup is rough.
Yeah, I don't even know who KC's backup quarterback is, but I just was like,
Well, so wasn't it? It was Minshew, wasn't it? But he got hurt, didn't he?
yeah.
Who's
So
their starting quarterback right now?
I don't know.
That's actually
Yeah.
a good question.
That was kind of a dart throw. I was just kind of
That is a good question. Let me see here. And Geno Smith isn't for the Raiders, right? Who's their quarterback now?
oh jeez. Well, Pickett was behind them.
Right.
Kenny Pickett was behind them, but
Chris Oladu. Hold on, I'm gonna butcher this name. Oladokin. Chris Oladokin is the Kansas City Chiefs starting quarterback right now.
okay.
So
Let's
do
go.
with that information what you will.
Yeah. With that information,
Geno-
I'm taking the over 36.5.
Geno Smith is doubtful, so it'll probably be Kenny Pickett.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty dreadful.
But at 36.5, they're like begging you not. They're like begging you to take it.
Yeah, they're kind of
How low that is.
testing me on that.
So I have the Colts and Texans, and again, this week was weird because you got a bunch of games that like don't really matter. So like,
Yeah.
you don't know what verse teams you're getting, but nonetheless, I got the Texans -10.5 to the Colts. The Colts, I think Rivers isn't playing, right? They're going with I don't know who they're going with. It's rookie.
Yeah.
They gave up on Phillip Rivers already.
Is it Richardson? Is he hurt?
Yeah. I don't think it's Richardson.
Yeah, it's not Richardson.
Now I have to look it up because I am curious. I looked it up earlier and I'm drawing a blank on who it was. It is Riley Leonard. They're starting Riley Leonard. We're good.
Oh, okay. He was a
Notre Dame's own Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
Yep. Wasn't all that great there. He was okay. He wasn't great there. And then
Yeah.
was he? I don't even know if he was drafted in the NFL. He might have been undrafted.
Yeah.
If
Might have been.
maybe a late pick, I don't know. But
Yeah.
so I have the Texans -10.5 there. I have the Bears -3 to the Lions. Unfortunately, I think they win and get that 2 spot. Which I'm surprised with, like the Lions not in a spot or anything. That seems like a really close spread, 3 points.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I felt a lot of them did this week for games that were not, there wasn't a lot to play for some teams.
I have the Bills -7.5 against the Jets. And then I have the Commanders and Eagles over 41.5. I usually don't like taking overs when it comes to the Eagles because the defense is good and the offense sucks. But for whatever reason, I just feel differently about this game, and I have nothing to back that up. I have nothing to back that up, but that's kind of how I feel. And
Yeah.
then for your over under being the Kansas City game that's so low over 36.5, begging you to take the over. I'm the opposite way, where I
Okay.
have the Dallas. I have Dallas and New York with such a high over under that I'm being begged to take the under.
Yeah.
So under 52.5. So
Oh wow. Yeah.
two teams that just who cares? Who cares about either of these teams right now? They just want to get out of the building. It'll be like a 17-10 game. Like, get me out of here.
Who's home for that?
I believe that is the Giants that's home that game.
Okay.
I believe. So yeah, those are my picks, and we'll see what happens. So.
Alright.
You got anything else any topics you want to discuss tonight? Well, I didn't really have anything other plans of like what to talk about, what teams. There's not a whole lot going on. Anything that's on your mind?
No, I'd been thinking a lot about the stuff going on with the Flyers, and they're apparently talking contract extension with Christian Dvorak.
Makes me nervous.
A little bit. Me too.
Yeah.
I don't want them to do anything above. It can't be longer than 3 years, And I feel like we're kind of like conflating the two things because, well, not maybe conflating is not maybe the right word, but it's like they want to extend him because he plays center. Flyers really have a need at center. And a lot of their prospects, like their higher end prospects, are wingers. And then there's kind of like Jack Berglund, a Swedish prospect that the Flyers really like, and of course Jet Lachenko, right? And none of these players, although the Flyers may have varying degrees of like how they evaluate and like these players, they clearly don't think they're ready anytime soon, right? So like they're going to extend Dvorak. So I feel like it's like we're kind of arriving. I think a lot of people are arriving at the same conclusion, but in different ways, right? Like some of those picks, especially in the first round, Jack Nesbitt and Lachenko come to mind, were picks that most people felt were kind of project type picks, and that the Flyers needed to take more of a bigger swing on skill or talent or whatever you want to say. And, so it's like they draft these projects, but then like they really don't have the plan is to extend Christian Dvorak, right? Because there's no other real option, at least on the free agent market. And the Flyers apparently had planned around this free agent market. And then all these free agents signed.
Yeah, remember when it used to be McDavid, Eichel, Kaprizov, like they're all gone.
Right. So, I just don't want it to be a long-term thing. I would rather them look, whether it's trade or whatever. You have all these assets, and it's like, you're going to have to do something. Like, I mean, you can continue to draft and do these other things, right? That's like non-negotiable. You have to do those things. But it's like they've been doing a lot of those things. And
have they been doing them well?
Right. That's the question. And then like, development's never a steady upward path, right? There's peaks and valleys. That goes for all sports.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I guess I'm less, I see less of the vision today than I did maybe at the beginning of the year, because when they traded for Zegras, I thought like, hey, they're going to give him a full look here. Mm-hmm. Well, he's having a great year for the Flyers, and I'm happy that they made that move, and they desperately needed a talent like him. However, he's doing most of it on the wing.
They're going to say they didn't even try it at center.
I think he played 6 games there.
Yeah.
So.
And I think those games he kind of switched off and all. Like, I don't think they gave him a fair enough look at center.
Yeah.
Like, I that's something you have to do for 10, 15, 20 games to see if it works.
Yeah.
Nobody can just. and obviously he grew up as a center, so like it's you don't have to teach him the position, but you still got to get him comfortable playing that position when he didn't the last couple seasons. He was a wing in Anaheim for the last season or two. Like
Yeah.
you have to kind of retrain him in your new system. I just think he needs more of a look than the 5-6 games.
Yeah. So that I'm a little concerned about that. I mean, Christian Dvorak I think is a useful player. I like him. Um, but I don't know that I want to like kind of they have the same version of different calibers of different caliber of player, but the archetype of the player is the
Mhm.
same for the center position all down the lineup.
Yep.
Noah Cates, Sean Couturier, Christian Dvorak, Rodrigo Hobbles. Like these are all guys that are like varying degrees of a similar type of player. Um, and they really don't have like that offensive um, force at center. You know
No.
that
Nope.
that they that I think they really need. I think they looked at Zegras as that player, and then he really didn't get a look there, like we were just saying, and then so you're kind of left with the same hole.
And even the three prospects they have in Luchenko, Nesbitt, and Berglund are all that same archetype you just mentioned.
Yeah, right. And so yeah, I don't know. I'm less clear on it. I think today after hearing the Dvorak stuff has been out there,
Mhm.
but you know I guess we're too. It's like weird because we're hearing more about that right now than we
Mhm.
are um, like Trevor Zegers extinction.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
and he's been like up over a point per game, leads the team across all major offensive categories, all that stuff. And it's like we've heard little about that, but we're hearing a lot about the Dvorak thing.
If I had to guess, the reason for that is obviously Zegers is a restricted free agent, so there's not really a whole lot of pressure to get it done before a certain date. Whereas Dvorak is an unrestricted free agent, and the Flyers, I know they're playing well, they're in the playoff spot technically, still
Right.
kind of rebuilding. Whereas if you can't get a contract done now, maybe you flip him at the deadline. Maybe you trade him for something because you can't get something done. So that's my guess is that's probably why contract stuff with Dvorak's coming out now.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right about that. Yeah, so that's something I've kind of thought about, and because my first initial thought when the first piece of that information came out about the Dvorak, I thought for sure that like the Flyers should flip him because he's having a career year at
He's gonna
29 years old.
he's gonna easily shatter his high numbers.
Yeah,
Like his career high in points right now was back in I just had it pulled up was back in 2018-19 season. He had 38 points.
yeah,
He already has 24 in 36 games.
yeah. So like like I said, I like the player. I think he's useful. He can line up at center and wing. So even though he's not necessarily blocking anybody, which I think is a good thing because then you can just slide him over to wing and you still have the player
Mm.
and how to utilize him. Like Tocchet has coached him before, and probably part of the reason why he signed here in the first place was to play for Tocchet again. And so that's something that uh, they'll have to figure out. But that was my initial thought was that they would flip him, especially because for the reasons we just mentioned, like with free agency being so thin, the Flyers might find a really good deal, and maybe you can get like maybe you tell teams, hey, like we're not looking for a first round pick per se, but we're looking for a equivalent prospect
Yeah.
that fits a need, or you know what I mean, like something like that, where maybe you can do something, and and
Mhm.
and then that guy can, maybe not for the rest of this year, but next year maybe he plays for the Flyers, and you can he can have a full camp with the group, so on and so forth. So that's something that's been out there, I think, and with Dvorak, I'm not against the Flyers re-signing him. I just think that they need to be careful with that.
Yeah, there's a world where they could sign him where it could make some sense, but like it depends on, like you said, the number and the term. Whereas like because the while he's performed well, they also have him because of the way the roster's constructed, have him playing well above where he should be in a lineup. I think
Right.
he's being overused with where like this team is far from a Stanley Cup contender. I think we all know that, but like I see Christian Dvorak as like either like an average third line player on a Stanley Cup winning team, or like a if you have him on your fourth line, I think you have a Stanley Cup winning team. Like I think he's a bottom six
Yeah.
center,
Yeah.
and they have him
Yeah.
playing the top two lines.
Yeah. I think so too. And I think there's versatility there where you can kind of move them up and down a
Sure,
lineup.
definitely.
Uh, you know,
Like
but
PK as well.
right. So, you know, it's he's not a bad player by any means. It's not like the Flyers are investing in like a bad player. It's just that they have players like that
Mhm.
already, and um, you
And
know,
I
I
think I
don't want
heard
them to box themselves in.
yeah, and I think I heard 5.5 million per year. Like, that
Yeah,
seems crazy to me.
yeah. I mean, 5.5 and then 3 years was the rumor today,
Okay.
and I mean to me that's a year too long and 500 grand more
Yeah.
than they need to spend,
Mhm.
on a player like that. That may seem like we're kind of like squabbling over the numbers, but I think the years absolutely matter in a
Sure.
situation like that because especially if he were to regress back to the mean, to his career averages, and you have that whether the cap is going up or not, it doesn't really matter. Like if he's on the lower end of a third line player, that seems like um, a little too much, a little too rich for them at this point in time, especially when you look at where the roster is right now and what some of the needs are.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think I would have to.
yeah, and like you said, yeah. I mean, Couturier is not going anywhere, right? He's stuck on that contract. He's not going anywhere until that contract's up in what 5 years or whatever.
Right.
Um, so he's not going anywhere. Like you said, you have the three prospects. Who knows when they're coming up? But like within the next year or two, you'll have the Luchenkos, the Nesbits, the Berglunds coming up, hopefully making an impact. So like when those guys come up in 2 years, where does that put Dvorak? Now you're paying him 5.5 million in that third year, and it's like what do we do? Like, and then
Yeah.
maybe he's not the same player he was. Like, yeah, I think the 3 years would be a big mistake.
Yeah. And I look at it too, like where you look at where they're at now and you could say, well, what is, what is the extra year matter? And like just to play devil's advocate, like, oh, well, what's the, look at, although they're different players, Dvorak's definitely a better player than both of them. But, look at the Delorier contracts and the Garnet Hathaway contracts, where Garnet Hathaway has 0 points this year. He's played himself out of the lineup now with Grabenkin, Carl Grunstrom, and Abels. They look like a good trio on the
Mm,
third line. They've played well together because they can actually give you something in terms of like there's a little bit of grit and physicality there, but there's also like they actually can make plays and
sure.
and like pop in a goal here and there, and that's so that's been a good thing for the bottom half of the lineup. But you can say that, well, what's the extra year matter? Well, look at those guys, that got maybe a year or two longer than they should have,
Hmm.
and now they're sitting in your press box and they're basically just no disrespect to those players, but it's just like they're extra skaters for you. They're not even contributing for you. Um, so like you don't want to be in a situation like that with a player who plays higher in your lineup.
Yep.
Uh, you know what I mean, and have it be a year too long. So I don't want to have to run into that, but
Yeah.
with Dvorak. So and plus I do think like with the options available, there's just like like teams get kind of the itchy trigger fingers at the deadline and stuff like that, maybe you can really kind of get a haul back for him.
Yeah, the
You know,
Flyers got a first round pick and Nikita Gerbenkin for Scott Laughton.
right?
Dvorak? They're the same player. Scott
Yeah,
Laughton and Dvorak, the same
right.
player.
Yeah, and then at the deadline, if he continues on this pace, it's like you can really sell that to a
Yep.
team that's like, hey, look, like this guy can actually score too,
Hmm.
and he maybe helps you in the postseason and stuff like that. But I also too I understand the appetite to want to re-sign him because I mean, um, I do think this team competing for a playoff spot, potentially making the playoffs. I do think that experience matters.
Sure.
I really do. And, people are like, well, you just go to the first round, get stomped out. But it's
Which
just
you
like,
probably will.
yeah. But it's like, hey, I mean, coming in there and playing in a 6-game series, taking a game to, you get the experience of like just winning a playoff game, just one maybe, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? One or two, and you kind of tests your metal. It's you can see what
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
takes.
And you see with the Wells Fargo, not the what is it? The Xfinity Mobile Arena, whatever whatever
Yeah,
dumbass name it's got now. You can see what that's like in a playoff atmosphere. No, sure. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, yeah. So
But I don't know if I'll be saying that after they lose in 5 games to Carolina. Like I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, yeah. That's not going to be fun either way. But
Although they played so well, like maybe they don't play Carolina. Maybe they'll play. I haven't looked at the standings in a while because like a lot of things
they
can change
change
now till
daily.
April. Yeah, but like they're playing so well, maybe you won't have to face the Carolina in the first round.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's totally possible. With the year
Oh my
they've
God.
had.
It's obviously a ton of time to go, more than a half a season. But if the season ended today, they would play the Islanders in the first round of the playoffs, and my God, that would be the most boring series of all time.
Yeah, yeah. That would probably be boring. Yeah,
Yeah, that would not be fun.
no, but yeah. So that's where I'm at with the Flyers. I know the Sixers. They're wrapping up a road trip. I think
Hmm.
they're wrapping up a road trip tonight in Memphis. Uh, doesn't look like Embiid's playing again. Watford, Kelly Oubre, those guys are all out.
Yeah.
So, or it looks like. I mean, I think Embiid was questionable with the ankle sprain. I don't know if they're playing now. I think it's close to over. I gotta check now.
Just said he was questionable for tonight. I don't know if 2 hours ago, final playing status.
Let's see.
It says he will play, so that
Yeah,
game's probably over now, right?
they're in the fourth quarter. Sixers are up 108, 102.
Okay.
So I don't trying to see what his what it looks like, what the stats look like. But
I got it right here. He played 26 minutes, 28 points, seven
okay,
rebounds, 7 assists.
yeah. So I think
Maxi's got 31.
he's been so good this year,
Yeah.
Tyrese. I was going to make a point about that. That it's eluding me now about the Sixers.
Oh, sorry, I cut you
No,
off.
no, you're good. It wasn't you. It was just yeah. So I think PG was playing tonight. This is what it was. Paul George was playing tonight. Maxi
13 points.
Embiid,
Hmm.
and if that score holds, I think this will be the first time all year that the trio of them played and won. I think they'll be like
Yeah, they're like,
one
they're
and
like on
five or
4 or
something.
something, or yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
So, which I think is important because, like, well, we can see, um, you know, maybe that kind of helps them gel as a group,
Yeah.
or as a trio rather. But I mean, Embiid's going to be dealing with stuff where it's just something you have to accept at this point. He's going to be dealing with a bunch of things, and
For the rest of his career, it's going to be like this,
yeah,
or at least for the rest of his contract. Now,
yeah,
whether they bring him back after that, who knows? But like for the remainder of his time as a Sixer, this is the reality.
yeah. So that's kind of where they're at. But I hope it holds up for this game. I know they had a rough go over the weekend against the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I think anybody's beating that Thunder team, but
Are they still on some ridiculous like pace? Like I saw they have a chance to break the Warriors record from like 2018 or whatever. Year that
yeah,
was. 2016. I forget what year that was, but yeah.
I think they are. I think they're still on a pretty torrid pace, but I mean and they have assets. Like that's the other thing too. It's like they have a number of first round picks, um, from trades they had made in the past, and um, yeah,
28
Sam
and
Preston,
5.
28-5, yeah.
What was it 75 wins the Warriors had that year?
Um, man. Was it? What was the Bulls? They broke the Bulls record. Wasn't the Bulls like 73 wins?
Something like that. So the Warriors in 2016 were 73 and 9.
Okay.
I don't know what the Bulls were.
Yeah, I feel like the Bulls may have won 70 or something like that during the Jordan era. Um, I feel like
The
that's
Bulls won 70. The Bulls won 72 in
70.
95
Oh,
96.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that that Thunder team's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, it says that so right now the Thunder, again, only 30 some games into the season, 32 games into the season.
Yeah.
The Thunder have the third best winning percentage of all time so far. So they would fall behind those teams, but third best winning percentage of all time so far.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Could be tough to
16 and 1 at home.
Man. Yeah, they're going to be tough. The West, I think, is just generally tougher, but they're like the class, and then the Eastern Conference is kind of wide open, which is worth. That's why it's worth. I think one of the reasons it's worth talking about the Sixers. It's like, they've gotten some good product. Like they do have some depth on this team too, and so it's like Maxey playing the way he's playing, Joel giving you what he can give you. And even PG's been good to start the year here. And everybody's kind of relishing their role. VJ Edgecombe, I think, is somebody who we've seen can score. And but he's okay with, at this point in his career, at least at 19 or 20 years old, whatever he is, he's okay with like, hey, like I'll fill in and I'll do whatever you guys need. And, they needed that. They needed a player like that.
Yeah, and when you're a rookie, there's going to be growing pains. Right? Like things can't go perfect all the time.
Yeah, so he right away seems to understand. Like hey, like I want to be here. I just want to win, and I'll do whatever it takes to win. And so he's willing to take a back seat to some of the vets and just do what they need him to do. And that kind of makes him like almost like a super sub out there too, where you can put him in and he can give you. He can score the basketball. He can do things defensively and things like that. So he can offer you a lot of different things. And, and like I said, the East is wide open. So you never know, what could, how it could break. Or, we were talking about the top of the show with the Eagles and all. Like, it's all about who's hot and who's not going into the playoffs. So who knows? But
very true. Very true. But you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I think that's everything.
All right, I'm gonna go. We have some late hockey tonight, so I'm gonna go watch the hockey game, watch the Flyers in Vancouver, and probably fall asleep in between the first and second period. That's probably how my night's gonna go. We're gonna get out of here. That does it this week for Phired Sports. Again, check out the site phiredsports.com, and we will see everybody next Tuesday in the year 2026. See you then.